get me wrong, I love being a mom. But you know, there are good days and bad days. But you push through the hard moments because there are so many more wonderful ones. Those sleepless nights seem tolerable when you hear your little one giggle for the first time. The tantrum just minutes before becomes a distant memory when your toddler says, "I love you, Mama." And the getting out of bed 20 times because your daughter is hungry or tired or whatever other excuse she can think of, totally worth it when she tells you you're her best friend. And the truth is, none of that changed when I was diagnosed with breast cancer. There were still hard days, but suddenly the hardest part wasn't my little guy hitting, it was the joint pain. It wasn't my girls talking back, it was the sickness. The side effects really knocked me down. But as with everything, there were also some pretty sweet moments in there. About a year ago, I had to undergo a double mastectomy. The surgery was really hard, but the worst part, when I got home from the hospital, I couldn't hug my kids. We would hold hands and blow each other kisses, but it's just not the same. I'll never forget when I was finally able to hug them. My son got the first one, and he was so excited to get a real hug from Mom again. And then I went and gave my girls each a hug too. Now, my 12-year-old had been in that, "You're my mom and I'm way too cool and grown up to hug you anymore" phase. But that day, she didn't turn my hug away. Another day, a particularly bad day. I was in a lot of pain, laying in bed. I was very sick. Lots of crying. And I told my husband that I was going to quit chemo. I couldn't go on anymore. It was too much. It was one of the lowest points I hit during treatment. Eventually, my 9-year-old wandered into our room, and she climbed into bed with me and held my hand. And in a moment I'll always remember, she looked right into my eyes. "Mom, I wish I could make your cancer come into my body so you won't have to hurt anymore." I couldn't even respond. I was so touched. It's supposed to be my job to take care of her, to take away her hurt and her pain. And there she was, ready to do the same for me. I am often asked if my kids even understand all that is going on. And yes, I think they do. We talk about it, but you know, they're still kids, and I think they understand it differently than you and I do. During chemo, my son, who was 5 at the time, broke his arm. Daddy took him to the ER. When he came home, he was so proud to show me his temporary cast. But he was still in some pain, and he looked at me so seriously, and just that way 5-year-olds do. "Mom," he said, "you are so lucky you only have cancer." You could have a broken bone like me. These are the moments I will forever treasure in my heart. The truth is, on more than one day I got out of bed for them. My kids kept me going, even in the worst of moments. And while they're not perfect, because they are kids after all, they have showed so much love and kindness and strength this past year that I am proud to be called their mother.